This is the truth about Solana.
We're about to reveal some crazy facts about Solana that you haven't heard of.
Welcome to the Bean Pod. This is your place for all things stocks and crypto. From beginner tips to expert picks. Use this as fuel for your investing journey, because when you're in the know, your money will grow.
The Bean Pod is presented by DAOmaker, the top crypto launchpad in the industry.
DAOmaker allows people to participate in top crypto projects before they launch and generate some of the best returns you can find anywhere.
They also provide growth solutions for crypto projects that are looking for funding and assistance with marketing.
With their revolutionary new public strongholder offerings, everyone can get early access to top crypto projects regardless of their net worth.
DAOmaker is rapidly disrupting the venture capital industry. If you're interested, head over to DAOmaker.com to learn more. This episode of the Bean Pod is sponsored by KyberSwap.
KyberSwap is a DEX and DEX aggregator which is built to facilitate all your DeFi needs in one single platform.
Fast, cheap, and safe.
User experience is KyberSwap's sole focus to make everyone's life better in DeFi. Welcome to the Bean Pod. This is Shane, aka the Jolly Green Investor.
And this is Josh, the Nifty Investor.
Today we're going to be revealing the truth about Solana.
There's a lot you may not know about Solana, so tune in to the end because we have some crazy facts and we're going to reveal a lot of information about this blockchain technology.
So Solana is definitely one of the most talked about blockchains for a reason. People use it. It's widely adopted. It's had a meteoric rise from, the bottom 100. Now it's in the top 10, right? So it's obviously something we need to get to the bottom of a little bit of controversy that's happening right now, huh?
So what makes Solana so special, first of all? Because there's so many smart contract platforms out there. There's a lot of layer ones. What makes Solana so unique compared to an Ethereum or a Cosmos?
Right. So that's the reason why it's become so popular lately is it's fast.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, Solana is fast. We've seen what's happening with Ethereum these days. Bored Ape Yacht Club just had their metaverse mint and it was insane. It was slow, extremely expensive. People were paying like $1,000 in gas or up to $4,000 in gas to mint some of that metaverse land.
Jesus.
So that would never happen on Solana because it's fast and transaction fees or gas fees are extremely low. So if you look at the comparisons of the blockchains, all the new ones that come out, they're always like, it's the fastest, it's the cheapest, right? So Solana, I think, was one of the first ones to actually, come out with that and execute on that plan. Super fast, super cheap. But then the downside of that
It loses security, right? And then there's been some hacks recently.
Yeah.
I think that's like the biggest knock against Solana. And what's really hurting it right now is the fact that it's not secure. And they've had 7 outages. They just had another one.
Yep.
It's nonstop. And when that happens, you lose consumer trust, consumer confidence, developers who want to develop further on your blockchain. You're not going to have enterprises who are going to be developing on it. So they're losing out right now, I think. Even with Ethereum's high gas fees.
I mean, definitely. So when you look at what's happened over the past year, you see there's so many good things that Solana has accomplished, more so than a lot of the other projects and blockchains that we talk about. And the key thing, and we've talked about this in our Solana episodes many times, it's adoption, right? Solana was one of the most used blockchains behind Ethereum for NFTs, for play-to-earn games, for settling transactions. Everyone can talk the talk, but when you actually walk the walk and capture users, like they just launched their Phantom wallet, so now people are actually used as their NFT wallet on mobile. People can actually, we can use Solana on a day-to-day basis. As much as we talk about Avalanche and Near Protocol and Cosmos, it's really hard to find use cases. Solana has those use cases. That's why it's had such a crazy rise in token price, right?
So I think, let's say I'm, the average listener, the average user who's in crypto right now. I transfer money across, usually, with XLM. Stellar.
Yep.
Or sometimes I'll transfer it across the Binance Smart Chain. I've been using Tron as of late because, Ethereum gas fees and Binance was congested. So as the everyday user, why do I care about the transaction speed so much when I don't really personally care at the moment? Is it the enterprises that care more so? Where are the transactions? Why is this transaction speed so important?
For speed specifically over cost, you're asking?
Yeah, why Solana for speed?
Right. So for transaction speed, one of the big things about speed that makes it important is play to earn games, right? So if there's microtransactions happening in a game, you know, if it's a Pokemon style game and you have to buy and sell and fight and all these things, the NFTs, you want those transactions happening right away, right? You can't be waiting 20 minutes to mint an egg and then fight another person in the game. It has to be quick transactions. So that's one of the reasons why so many play to earn games are building on Solana, is because the transactions are instant. And even me, you know, I've dove into NFTs on Ethereum, Solana, etc. It's so much nicer minting an NFT on Solana because you mint it and it's yours. With Ethereum, if you're trying to get into a mint, like a drop, you might have to wait 20, 30 minutes and then it fails. And then you lose your gas fee and you don't have anything to show for it.
Right.
So Solana definitely did solve that.
And then I guess you also don't know with Ethereum what the gas fee is potentially going to be.
That's right.
Because it depends on the network and how much is being used, right?
So Ethereum, it could be 10, 20, 50, 100, $5,000. Solana, it's either 0.001 cent or it's 0.002 cents, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of performance, they've really nailed that speed part of it. And we talked about that Mark Cuban thing a while ago, right? It's like the end consumer doesn't really care what's going on in the background. So, you know, the crypto heads, the knock against Solana, as we said, it's not decentralized, it's not secure, it goes down. But the end consumer doesn't necessarily care about that. They want NFT now.
Yeah.
They want game to go fast, right?
But when the network's out, you can't get it now.
That's the flip side, right? So that's the one thing we really need to cover today is the recent outages.
Right.
There's been like 7 outages over the past year, and I think like 3 in the past week or something.
Yeah, the most recent one was what was it? It was a 7-hour outage. There was a bunch of bots that flooded the network. It hit Solana Candy Machine, which is an NFT minting tool.
Okay.
And that's what put it down for the 7 hours on Saturday.
So 7 hours is a pretty long time.
Yeah.
There was a 17-hour outage in September of 2021. And as someone who holds funds in my Phantom wallet, Solana, other Solana-based tokens, you know, that really fucking sucks because I can't touch my coins. Those, you know, Solana could tank, Radium could tank, you know, whatever else I have, CryoWar can tank, and I can't trade, I can't access. And that's like having your bank account frozen.
And it did. It went from $220 to $140 in 24-hour span during that 17-hour crash.
Yeah. So that right away, that for me, it's a huge red flag. And I've been thinking about it for a while. And as you know, like I've been a big proponent of Solana and it was one of my better trades last year. But as these hacks happen more and more now, it's really made me think about, do I want to be a long-term holder in this coin that it keeps crashing?
You start to lose faith, right? And then you start to see, am I going to allow them to figure it, because they have experienced these crashes now? Am I going to wait and be like, okay, no, they actually have figured it out. But if it's happened 7, 8, we're going on 8 times now, that's too much for me. And, you know, I'm starting to kind of back away a little bit.
It's a lot. And the pro Solana crowd, their flip side argument will be that it's still in, you know, beta. Obviously, you know, we are still very early in this whole crypto thing. Solana, it only really launched a few years ago. I think it was 2018. And it's only really come to fruition in the past year in terms of mainnet and transactions. So we do have to take a step back sometimes and give it a bit of leeway. It is new, it is fresh, and I don't think even the largest Solana bull could have predicted how much adoption they captured in 2021. Could they have planned for having millions and millions of users, NFTs, games, all this stuff being built on it right away? Maybe the chorus of the team members hoped that, but it's really impressive what they've accomplished, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're having a lot of trouble now.
Yeah. And, you know, speaking to the team, right? This is something we could talk about. They have really experienced team members, you know, were they both from Qualcomm, you know, the largest chip manufacturer in the world. Those 2 individuals, they also helped manage Firefox operating system. So they have some really good tech background as well. So I guess we could speak to the team a little bit.
Yeah. So so that's great about the team. But then on the flip side, and this is another huge knock against Solana, is it's venture capital backed.
Exactly.
Right. So what that means is instead of a fair launch or a community launch where, you know, maybe there was some pre-sale behind the team and maybe some marketing people behind it, and then it launches to the retail. Solana was heavily invested in by venture capital firms, high net worth individuals, billionaires, Chamath, legendary SPAC/scammer Chamath. He's a big Solana guy. Like he, you know, got in at 0.1, whatever.
Yeah.
So what that means is there's currently a lot of people holding a shit ton of coins that can dump on retail investors.
Yeah.
So that always makes you hesitant about buying any coin, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, the team holds 35% of the tokens.
Still,
after
right?
going through the tokenomics.
Yeah.
That's how much the team got. But 48% of the tokens were given to insiders.
That's half the tokens to insiders.
So then we can start getting to the debate of whether it's centralized or decentralized based off of, who's holding the amount of tokens, the validators, et cetera, right?
Right.
So,
And this is something you should look for when you're, looking at any coin. Should I invest in it? And we'll talk about this in another episode, our tokenomics episode.
yeah.
But when you see a lot of people holding that amount of coins, what that means is when the price pumps, they are more likely to dump. Because as an early investor, you're in it for profit. So when Solana goes to 200, 300, that's when they dump. So you're chasing a pump that is inevitably going to dump. Whereas if there is no venture capital backing and a lot of people don't hold a lot of the coins, it can pump naturally and it might not dump as hard. So it's flips.
And it's a significant amount of money when they get in at a seed price of, let's say, 12 cents and it's currently trading at $80.
Yep.
So if it goes up from $80 to $80.12, they just did a 2x on their money for every 12 cents it goes up. So
you're talking billions of dollars here, right?
Yeah, we're talking a lot of money. So if that price does move a bit, they are going to dump on you.
So another thing we need to talk about for Solana is it is inflationary. We always talk about tokenomics. There's only 21 million Bitcoin ever created. You can't make any more. Ethereum is going to be switching from inflationary to deflationary with Ethereum 2.0. Solana is inflationary. Solana supply inflates by 8% every year due to staking rewards. Now, it will be reduced at a rate of 15% per year until it gets down to 1%, but it is still inflationary by nature. And what that means is there's more tokens created every year. So when it comes down to simple supply and demand, if there's more tokens created every year, the price will naturally suffer because there's more supply of the same asset, right?
Yeah. And so with the mainnet going live in 2020, I think that's expected for the first 5 years or so. Looking into layer ones, typically they are inflationary because you need to reward the validators to secure the network. And this allows for the ecosystem to develop even further.
Right.
But if you're a long-term investor and look down the road, then this inflationary aspect, you need to put it on the back burner a little bit.
Definitely.
But this is a knock against Solana. Sorry, I am coming along.
Just shitting all over.
I'm a little bearish.
I know.
I'm a little bearish against Solana.
Yeah.
And I just can't deal with the outages. I'd rather almost pay a higher gas fee knowing that it's going to work out than the outage and not have access.
Look, at the end of the day, if you have thousands of dollars in these coins and you can't access them,
that's
that.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm out, right? Once it's happened to me, it happened to me. What's it? Fool me once, shame on me.
Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I've been fooled 7 motherfucking times on Solana. I'm almost done. I've almost reached my limit, right?
So yeah, to the circulating supply and the inflationary aspect. And I know they already had the knocks against them when it comes to the outages, but there was also the fact that Solana claimed that there was only 8.2 million in circulation a few years back, but there was speculation that there was more, and Solana denied it. They said no, there's no more, there's no other tokens. This is all that there is. So there was an independent investigation, and they actually found out that there was an unlocked wallet with another 13 million in tokens. They were actually for a loan for the market maker. But what ended up happening is Solana only was able to recover 3 million. They had to create another 8 million more. So not only were they caught lying, but then they had to create even more on top of that.
Sketchy.
So so far we're seeing the outages. We're seeing some sketchiness in terms of independent investigation, and the fact that the team holds 35% of the tokens, with the insiders holding nearly half of the tokens. So
yeah. So there's a lot of, long-term bearish, sketchy things that we've just covered about Solana. We also covered what they've accomplished, which, it has to be commended that they've done very well. They've gotten one of the hardest things to do in crypto, which is adoption. People actually use Solana. Your everyday crypto NFT investor playing games, people actually use Solana, which is more than you can say about 99% of all crypto projects that are all promises and no delivery. Now I think we should talk about whether it's a good investment now and comparing it to other layer ones, where they're at, and market caps, right? So Solana, as it is right now, is around a $30-ish billion market cap.
Yeah.
It's in the top 10.
Yeah.
I remember when it was, around 100, like a year ago or something, when we were like, oh, it's $5, $7, $10 now, and boom, right?
Yeah.
So where it is now compared to some of the other layer ones we talk about, like Avalanche or Near Protocol or Cosmos or Algorand, Is it still a good investment for you right now, or are you out?
So yeah, I mean, looking at even, you got Avalanche at $16 billion valuation.
About half.
Yeah. You got Cosmos at $5 billion, and you have even Hedera Hashgraph at $2 billion.
Old slow age. Bar.
Yeah. Man, we've been doing these podcasts now for what, like 6 months or so? It's 7 months. We're still so early.
Yeah.
So I remember investing in Ethereum back in 2016. I didn't look at it again until 2021. We just need to be patient.
Yeah.
But I do. So how much further can Solana go with a $30 billion market cap? Is it going to see a 10x and go to 300 billion with what we've highlighted in terms of the team and all these other things? I think I'd rather be allocating my money to something like a Cosmos, which also has, I think it's the third highest in terms of developers right now, just behind Polkadot. So I'd be looking to something like that has a $5 billion valuation.
Definitely. My strategy going forward with layer ones is a bit different. In 2021, we were firmly in the hype of a bull run. So you can place your money in these Solanas, blah, 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 and it goes up. Now, things have changed. The market is a little sketchier. Even moving forward, growth tech valuations are never going to be what they were. So you have to be a little bit pickier. It's more of a trader's market, like a stock picker / crypto picker's market. So for me, especially with layer one, what I'm looking for is blockchains that are pre-adoption, but show so much promise that nothing's for sure, nothing's guaranteed, but there is adoption coming. So that's like investing in Solana in
when it was $10,
April 2021, right? Pre-adoption.
Right.
Now Solana is post-adoption. That's why it's got a $30 billion market cap. So that's why I'd look to a Near Protocol, an Avalanche, a Cosmos, a Polkadot. People aren't really retail investors and traders, crypto users aren't minting NFTs on Near Protocol yet.
No.
Avalanche is just starting to get there, right? So for me, these are pre-adoption layer ones. And I think the risk to reward ratio for pre-adoption layer ones is so much higher. For us as young people that can, afford to lose the money, a lot of it, but it could 10x, it could 50x, right?
It's the hype, so much of crypto is a hype train. You have X amount of tokens, then you get marketing, and then you get a flood of individuals who start pumping money into it. Becomes down to a supply demand. It drives the price up. So when Solana is already doing NFTs and then there is a crash, things can only go wrong for them.
Yep.
But when we start talking about a Near Protocol or a Cosmos, and then there's this, they're about to list, or they're about to implement their NFT marketplace, or they're about to, that's when the FOMO and the hype starts to generate this buzz around these smart contracts, which does inevitably drive the price up.
Right. But then the flip side of that investment thesis is because Solana has proven adoption and they are in the top 10 crypto coins, when institutional money comes in and when big money comes in and when the bull market does come back and, Joe Blow, who knows nothing about crypto, wants to put 100K into crypto, he will choose Solana because he's heard of it. He hears the name Solana being thrown around. He's not going to know what Cosmos Atom is. He's not going to know what Harmony One is. He or she knows what Solana is because they've heard of it, right? So it will pump in the next bull run, guaranteed, because institutions will choose it. It's in the top 10, so it's an easy choice. People would just throw money into it without doing any research, without listening to this podcast at all.
Yeah.
So we're not going to come and say Solana's never going to pump again.
Correct. But you're not going to get the 10x.
Maybe in the long term.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
But, we always talk about that path to alt season, right? So Solana will always be one of the first ones probably to pump after Bitcoin and Ethereum because it's right up there. So if you're trading, play it that way. Maybe you could catch a quick trade in Solana and then roll it into Avalanche Near, so
if the network's out, can the price still go up?
The network's out, I'm fucking out. Yeah. I mean, look, I've flipped now. I was a huge Solana guy, and now after being burnt so many, you can only be burnt so many times until you change your thesis on an investment. And I think you have to be flexible with your investments. You can't just close your eyes and always be loyal to one stock or one crypto. If things change, and you have to change your thesis. And for me personally, Solana is no longer one of my favorite coins. I still hold a little bit of it because I can't access it because the network's down. But it's never going to be one of my largest holdings anymore, I don't think, unfortunately. Goodbye, Solana. We had some good times.
Yeah. I mean, you could look, there's also the centralized, decentralized debate as well. I guess with, half the data, 5 data centers or something control 50% of the nodes. So it's also considered centralized as for anybody who likes the Web3 DeFi space for things to be decentralized.
Right.
They also have that little bit of knock against them as well.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think I'm I'm staying away from it.
Yeah.
I think there's just way too many other good projects
For sure.
out there. I mean, there's like 100,000 cryptocurrencies.
Yep.
I got money I could put elsewhere.
For sure. I mean, look, if you're listening to this episode, let us know what you think about Solana in the comments. We're happy to engage in a discussion. If there's anything we missed, let us know. We're always happy to change our mind, but for now, I think we've kind of turned bearish on Solana.
Yeah, so hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and make sure you tune into the next episode.
That one's going to be a banger.
All views expressed by speakers on the BeanPod are solely their opinions. You should not treat any opinion expressed on the BeanPod as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a specific strategy, but only as an expression of their opinion. This podcast is for informational purposes only.